It is officially the season of love, and I am looking forward to it. Fun fact, this is top 3 holidays of all time for me. Yes, I am a hopeless romantic. With this romantic day quickly approaching, I wanted to make a video that was on theme. And what better topic to discuss besides emotional availability? I was having trouble deciding on a topic that centered around the concept of love. This one was the one I decided on because I feel like it's the most valuable thing to have in a relationship, while it's also the most underused in the majority of people. Why do I say that? Because emotional availability is attached to so many things. Being able to communicate better, understanding your partner in a deeper level besides just what they're saying. It allows you to deepen your trust and also opens up so many intimate moments with one another. So while all of these things are clearly valued in relationships and in society today, why did I say that it is still underused? Look at what is being shown on media all the time. The culture is insane. That's why hookup culture is growing more. That's why the concept of being unfaithful is being glamorized. Overall, you have people that are emotionally immature because let's face it, this skill is maturity. It's what separates grown behavior from childlike behavior. And if you clicked on this video, we don't want that. So let me tell you how to develop this skill and also what to look out for in a partner. What is it to be emotionally available? It's to be present, vulnerable, and responsive with not only your own emotions, but your other people as well. It doesn't have to be romantic. In this case, it will be though. Water break. If you're trying to be more emotionally available, you need to be in tune with your own emotions. There's this famous quote that I believe is super overused, but it's still the truth. You can't love someone else if you can't love yourself, blah, blah, blah. Obviously, it varies from case to case, but ultimately, it's still speaking the truth. How can you try to understand someone in a deeper way when you can't even understand yourself? If you can't understand why you're sad when you get sad, or why you're angry when you get angry, it's kind of like an uphill battle from there. You need to be able to make that connection and to have the situational awareness. Otherwise, your partner's going to be feeling a type of way because something happened and you're just not going to have the awareness or even the care to know what happened or to try to figure out what happened. That's why a lot of people just, their partner's mad and they don't even see it. They're just like, there she go again. She's acting different. I'm not going to ask why she's mad. I'm just going to let it pass through and then she'll be back again in a few hours. That's not healthy. You want to be able to read the room and to understand the situation. This is what leads to communicating openly. This is what leads to de-escalating situations. And in result, it leads to a more open and content relationship. So yes, you need to understand your own emotions more because when you do that, you're able to understand other people's emotions. And there's many paths you can take in order for you to do that in the first place. I would say the simplest and the most obvious one is to just allow yourself to feel things. You'd be surprised about a lot of people. I don't know if it stems from childhood or if it's from like a recent trauma, but they don't allow themselves to feel certain emotions. Like they can begin to feel sad, but then subconsciously they're like, okay, that stops right here. We're not going further than this point. So they feel the surface level of sad, but they never deeply connect with it to understand the true pain that's rooted to this feeling. That can be very hard to do by yourself. So, I would recommend like therapy. Honestly, whether that's through a professional or a professional establishment or even yourself, you can try your own self-medicated therapy, whatever. It's a good step forward. Another thing you can do to develop emotional availability: rationalize and have discernment. Having these two at hand allows you to also have a backbone for yourself. If I'm being real, you can be emotionally available, but then you can also go too far and just let things slip away from you. When you're able to rationalize, you can take all these other variables and react accordingly to that situation. It doesn't mean you're bending backwards for someone or you're being an emotionless, unmovable wall, but rather you're cool-headed, you're taking everything into account, and you're doing the best that you can with what you have. Having discernment allows you to judge well, it allows you to draw in context and read between the lines. Overall, this separates you from seeing things at face value and seeing the deeper interconnected web of whatever it is for the situation. A good example that I can think of is looking at a flat two-dimensional piece of art compared to a three-dimensional one that has like height, width, depth. You're just able to see more in general. The last thing I would say you need to have is vulnerability. Sure, a majority of women may want a tough man, someone that can lead and provide and be like the head of the household. I think as time progresses, the priorities for what's desirable in a man are also changing. And being able to be vulnerable while strong at the same time is super important to have. And I think that's where a lot of young men get this wrong. They attribute being vulnerable to being weak. They're not entirely wrong. I mean, that's literally the definition of being vulnerable. It's you have like a weak point, but being able to be vulnerable allows you to be stronger at the end of it. And when you are able to be vulnerable with your partner, that just allows you to have a deeper connection with them, because you just share something so intimate with one another that you can't help but have that bond, that unbreakable bond. I don't have statistics to back this up, but couples that cry together stay together. Couples that are able to console one another, that have been through each other's weakest points, they're for life. And being able to be vulnerable allows you to also understand when your partner is vulnerable as well. Because I would say that people that don't allow themselves to be vulnerable also don't really like that in other people as well. Like they'd rather not be around that. So when you allow yourself to be vulnerable, you're also allowing your partner to do that even more. Because now you don't see it as something that's weak or undesirable. You see it as something that is necessary and is just a temporary thing that we can both get through, which leads to deeper connections, deeper bonds, and intimate moments. All things that a nurturing and growing relationship needs. For the sake of time and the fact that the number 3 is an aesthetic number to land on, we'll stop with these examples. I'm sure there's plenty more to talk about in terms of emotional availability, and maybe I'll make a part 2 or make a series out of this. But for now, I'll leave you with these. Be in tune with your own emotions and understand them in a deeper way. This will also allow you to do this for other people. Practice rationalization and discernment. This allows you to pull context for situations and to also react accordingly while being a good judge of things. And lastly, be vulnerable. This gives relationships a sense of security, a sense of safety, and just a deeper connection with intimate moments overall. And when you mix all of that together, you get a skill that will take you far in your relationships. It doesn't have to be romantic. It can be platonic. It can be for your family. Whatever it may be, this gives you the opportunity to love deeper. And I think that's what the world needs a lot more of. People that love deeper. If you made it this far in the video, I want to thank you so much. I appreciate you greatly. Anybody who watches this far, that means I'm doing something correct. I hope I was able to leave something valuable for you today. Whether you're well in love or you're single and you're thinking about it, remember this: allow yourself to feel. Love isn't meant to feel thrilling or exciting. It's meant to feel like the comfort of a home.